What is up, YouTube? Filthy Casual is back. I've been trying to upload a little bit more frequently. I'm not going to do any crazy edits because I don't have time before work to render it, and I want to get this video out. I want to talk about the Warriors and the Knicks. Both of my teams went down 3-1 tonight. Doesn't feel great. I'm going to start off with the Warriors because I think it's the bigger story. I think it's the one everyone wants to hear, so we're going to lead with that. I am really disappointed in literally everybody. Like, this Warriors roster, I've said consistently, is the worst like team with championship potential that Curry's had. And I mean that in a lot of different ways. I think Jordan Poole specifically went from being a massive X factor with confidence oozing out his butthole to looking like a terrible player in like all facets of the game. He turns the ball over. He can't shoot from outside. He can't finish over Anthony Davis. He can't seem to get a mid-range shot going. He's not cooking anybody. He's losing his handle, and he's terrible on defense. So, yes, I'm aware that there's a supposed injury to his foot. I've not. It doesn't look like he's injured. It doesn't look like he's not fast. It doesn't look like he can't move. It looks like he's not giving effort. And that contract might have killed this dynasty because now not only is Draymond and his contract up unless he decides to take a player option because of unfinished business in this season, but now you're stuck with Poole, who seems to, unless he's a primary ball handler, not know what to do with himself on the basketball court at all, which is bad. And it's not to say that he doesn't have his moments of being a solid passer and being able to function within the Warriors system, but what are the odds that he's going to be better than Tyler Hero? And I don't mean that in like a disrespectful way. Like, Tyler Hero is a good player. Tyler Hero is a good scorer, but he's not really more than that, right? Like, he's maybe a starting shooting guard. If he's their sixth man, you're probably feeling pretty good about yourself. And that's kind of what he is. What is the probability that Poole's better than that? When he's tasked with primary ball handling duties, he's can be fantastic. We've seen that when Curry's out of lineup, but all year he's been bad. All year he's been bad. This playoff performance shit does not surprise me in the slightest. And for that matter, Clay as well, having like there's less than 2 minutes left. He jacks up 2 contested threes within 2 seconds of getting the ball at the start of the shot clock. Not good. But that's Clay, and he's another person that's been letting us down. But I want to focus more on Poole because Poole's the one that's on the books for the next 4 years, and Poole's the one that's got this massive contract with nothing, with no really nothing proven, right? Like, he was good for us last year. That's 1 year. How many players have we seen have one really good season and then just kind of be mid? That's a lot of people. So I'm nervous about the contract. This series has felt like Steph Curry versus the entirety of the Lakers. Like, it's Steph Curry versus the Lakers, and he hasn't gotten help from literally anybody. Looney looks tired because of illness. Like, he looks like, you can see it. Like, it looks like he's not as energetic, and it's not because of Anthony Davis. Like, he's playing less minutes per game. He's not able to fight as much. Like, he's clearly hampered by something. It's Steph Curry. Clay's been bad. Draymond's been, in foul trouble the entire time and struggled with Anthony Davis, which we knew, but I think he's done a solid enough job on Anthony Davis. I think Draymond's been not letting him down, but he's not been like the best version of himself. Gary Payton's been dealing with injury. Like, it's literally just Steph Curry out there. They're playing Jermichael Green minutes, like major minutes in a playoff series. This guy couldn't crack the rotation in fucking November because he was so bad, and everybody wanted him off the team for a reason. Now, I know he had a good game 3, but let's call, a spade a spade. It's not looking good for the Warriors. They're down 3-1. Is the series over yet? Not, maybe. I think the Warriors can win another game. Can they come back 3-1? I mean, it would take a lot of people to step up that I haven't seen step up at any point in the playoffs. Like Poole versus the Kings wasn't good. Clay versus the Kings wasn't good. In a game 7, they weren't good. So why am I going to expect them to stand up to adversity now? Because of the championship pedigree? Does that really change anything in this case? I don't think so. I think the Warriors are done. And, maybe they can come back. I did say that it would be a 7-game series. I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like it might be Lakers in 6. I said this would be a tough matchup for the Warriors. I was, in fact, right. But I expected at least one other player to show up. But that doesn't seem to have happened. Like DiVincenzo's shot terribly the entire playoffs. Like the Warriors don't have another guy. And the Lakers are getting a different guy every night. And that's the mark of a championship team. So I think at this point the Lakers are gonna win. Sucks to suck because I really would have liked to see Steph Curry win another title this year. I think if Draymond sticks around one more year, they have a shot next year. If he doesn't, I don't know. The retooling stuff needs to happen on a serious level. And I hope this isn't the last legitimate shot we see Steph Curry with at a title. I really don't. I really hope that's not the case. Beyond that, AD had a good game, wasn't his best game. LeBron was more aggressive, but Lonnie Walker in the fourth quarter was Jesus incarnate, couldn't miss a shot. And again, when people step up like that, that's a championship caliber team. Moving on from them, the Knicks Heat. Maybe I should have been more afraid of the Heat after they beat the Bucks. I attributed it more to the Bucks being sus and playing bad and Jimmy Butler being amazing than the entirety of the Heat roster. And a lot of the Knicks players have not played up to par. Quentin Grimes, who was incredibly solid for us all season, has not been good. Emmanuel Quickly, who was a couple votes away from being 6th man of the year, hasn't had a good series. He's been bad defensively. He's been bad offensively. Julius Randle continues to be dog piss in the playoffs, and I think it is incredibly concerning, not only for the Knicks as a team, but for Julius Randle as a star player, if this is constantly how he plays in the playoffs. Yes, I know it's only his second time out, but you're in the second round, homie. You're all NBA, almost 100%, probably second or third team, and this is the second time that's happened, and then you've gone to the playoffs and stunk it up, and you can't hit shots. And yes, I know he's coming off an injury, but it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like he's bad. And that's not good. Want to know who else did that? Andre Drummond. It's not good. It doesn't look good. Not happy about that. The only person that really shows up is Jalen Brunson and actually RJ Barrett. So, I mean, that is something to build on if you're the Knicks. I don't really expect the Warriors have more of a shot of coming down back from 3-1 than the Knicks. I really don't think we've got that potential. So I'm fairly certain this series is going to end in 5 or in 6, probably in 5. I think Jimmy will close it out, which is unfortunate to say aloud, but it's the case, especially because I felt like if the Knicks could get past the Heat, they had a legitimate shot at beating the Celtics. But all that was contingent on Julius Randle being Julius Randle, which to this point he hasn't shown me he can be in the playoffs. Sad to say, but it's what it is. The Heat, however, I am just kind of wondering when it's going to hit them that they're playing like 20 undrafted players. Like at some point you're gonna feel like, oh well, Max Strus and Caleb Martin they're not gonna hit their threes, right? Like at some point. But I mean, hey, it keeps rolling. Kevin Love has been an amazing acquisition for them. He speeds up their style of play. Like he can get them transition buckets. He can space the floor. He's a solid enough defender where he's a vet. He knows how to be a body and not foul like crazy. He gives them good minutes. Bam's been stepping up and hitting his mid-range shots, which has always been a problem with Bam's game. When he doesn't hit those mid-range shots, it feels like he's just terrible and like a complete negative on offense. But I mean, as long as the gravy train's rolling, I see no reason why they can't take it all the way to the finals. The Celtics have looked shaky, and the Heat seem dominant. So Is there a possibility we see a Heat title run out of the 8th seed? At this point, fucking maybe. Fucking maybe. So good on them. Good on the organization. And I am excited to see what happens the rest of the playoffs. I am excited to see if the Lakers can pull it out. I'm excited to see if the Heat could pull it out. How crazy would it be if we got a 7-8 title matchup where that would be the first time in history, and we'd be guaranteed to get the lowest seed ever to win an NBA title, which to this point has been the second title run of the Houston Rockets, like way back in the day. So, I mean, that's on the table. That is a legitimate thing that could happen. We could also see a 1-2 matchup with, or we could see the Suns. The Suns had an amazing comeback against the Nuggets, and I'm not totally sold that the Suns aren't going to pull it out, given the way Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have been playing. But we could see a lot of different things, and I think the playoffs are still quite interesting, and there's still a lot of intrigue to be had. That being said, leave a like, subscribe, and thank you for watching to the end of the video.